I could really do with a new game to play on my phone. Oh, what's this? A card battle game. Cards are awesome.
I'm back
And I'm
and we're here today to teach all of you how to play Voice.
I literally have no idea what I'm doing. But the pictures are nice. Despite being a rather obtuse and mindlessly repetitive time sink rather than a bona fide game in my eyes, Rage of Bahamut, also known as Shingeki no Bahamut in the motherland, has a bounteous plethora of colourful and interesting characters for you to enjoy, and power up, and fuse so they turn into different colours, and then you get all these big numbers and you're like, yeah, I can do this, come at me bro, and then you lose every single battle ever. But anyway, bitching about a game I will never understand isn't the reason I'm here this week. It's to talk about one particularly colourful and interesting character, which has recently been brought into the 3D realm by Kotobukiya in response to both her and the game's increasing popularity. And so, allow me to introduce you to the 1/8 scale Dark Angel Olivia from Rage of Bahamut, sculpted by Matsumoto Koe and based on the original illustration by Mushimaro. Say hello, Olivia. Come on. Don't be shy. Right, first things first. This girl is absolutely huge. Don't say that to her face though, obviously, she'll get upset if you say that. But seriously, she's absolutely massive. Even without her wings, this lady stands at a very respectable 240mm from head to toe. This alone makes her far from likely to go unnoticed while on display, and I haven't even started to talk about the details yet. Her massive, feathery wings really add a sense of oomph, and the opaque purple blending into that translucent goldenish yellow are what really defines her as an angel of darkness more than anything else. Especially as it looks like she's traded in her halo for these funky looking horns, which are also slightly translucent. But I'm not entirely sure why these needed to be translucent. I mean, the wings I can understand to a point at the ends there, but I find having it here to be a little bit excessive. I'm not so sure about the golden glittery stuff on the back of the wings here either, but we're not going to be seeing this side of her very often, so I suppose it's not that big of a deal in the long run. One of the reasons I like the colouring of her wings so much is because that deep purple that makes the majority of it contrasts really well with the brightness of her hair. We've got another cheeky gradient here from a bright blonde down to a burning orange, flowing down and framing those gorgeous red eyes of hers. Moving down to her torso I think is the perfect time to talk about the abundance of little details that gives Olivia a complexity in her beauty that's rarely matched. Just look at these golden accents, the little frills on her clothing, her hair ornaments, and in particular, the tiny little golden dots which have been meticulously placed on the beads of her hovering belt thing. It's like I'm staring at the wrapper of a chocolate bar that I could never even hope to afford. And while it may look like she's rolled up her skirt to catch the wandering eye, it does a great job of showing off her legs, where we can see more of that great attention to detail in action. And what good would Olivia be in conquering the realms of man and god without top quality weaponry? Now, while I know that the original illustration has her holding her swords this way, I must say I'm a little bit disappointed that they're hidden behind her back like this, especially when they look so good. To top things off, let's check out the base, and I tell you what, this base rocks. Chunky purple rocks for that matter. While it does look like these crystal chunks have just been slapped onto a regular base and could have easily made up the entire base, I can't fault this one for being of a decent size relative to the figure that it's supporting. Olivia's not going to be falling over anytime soon, and that makes this a good base no matter what my niggles may be. At least it's got something, and I can't fault a base when it looks like it could be made of space. What is easily the most perplexing thing about this figure, which has quite a lot of people scratching their heads in confusion or taking to their keyboards in anger, is how some of the colours on the promotional images are quite radically different from the final release, specifically her hair and wings, which seem to be a lot more striking and vibrant in those images than what we may pull from the box. I can certainly understand why people would be upset about this, but in all fairness I would say the final colours look closer to the original illustration than the promotional images, no matter how much better I think she would look with those stronger colours. So to round things off, I feel like I've been quite harsh with poor Olivia here. Please don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore this one. She's big, she's bright, she's very detailed, and she's lovely. There is so much attention to detail and effort that has been clearly put into her, but there are a few niggling issues here and there that just stop her short from being decisively exceptional. There is a variant of her out there with twin tails and more red, but personally, I prefer this one. I just need to work out where the bloody hell to put her. With all that being said, I'd recommend Olivia to anyone regardless of whether they were a fan of Shingeki no Bahamut or not. I mean, let's face it, I'd take her over that game any day, even if she was rubbish.